In the US particularly, we spend billions of dollars on healthcare costs associated with preventable diseases that are caused by lifestyle behaviors. And despite the fact that we've known this for many years, we still somehow aren't able to shift the needle to make healthier outcomes for individuals. The Well for Life initiative is taking a new approach and thinking about chronic disease prevention and health promotion, thinking about it more positively. So if a person can improve their sense of well-being, their vitality, their ability to feel like they're thriving and flourishing, will that help people to make and maintain healthy behavior choices that in the long term can reduce death and disease?
Your mental well-being, your physical well-being, it all intermingles. When I get up in the morning and I feel good, I'm more socially engaged with people. I can get out and do more activity.
When I'm at my most well, I feel alert, I feel capable of taking on any task, I feel limitations upon me are minimized.
There are really three areas for me that really help me determine if I'm happy and I'm well and I'm satisfied with my life. And for me, it's being creative, being physically active, and having good relationships.
If you feel good, pretty much you're going to be happy. Well-being feels like I'm reaching my goals and I'm just like projecting myself better to other people in the world.
Because well-being is so complex and it means so many different things to different people, when we're studying well-being, we really need to ask as many different kinds of people as possible about their understanding of well-being and about what impacts and contributes and detracts to their well-being. And so we want to have as many people as possible sign up to our online registry.
When you first join Well for Life, you have to fill out a survey. And the outcome of the survey, that takes about 20 minutes or so to define your overall well-being. And you can see where you might have shortcomings, areas that need to be addressed.
I figured out what made me well, honestly, from taking the survey, because I think it does a really good job of guiding you through and reflecting on what factors contribute to your well-being.
I looked at some areas and I was very, very strong on fitness, health, nutrition, and I was very short on social engagement. And I thought, looking at that, it gave me a sense of awareness of this is an area that I could expand out.
After I looked at my Well for Life, it was exactly what I was thinking about certain areas in my life. What's important, what isn't, what I should work on. Yeah, it was like totally right.
I think it's interesting when you look at data and what can you do with that data, which is why I like Well for Life, because it's evidence-based science that's being presented that you can read, you can look at, and you can engage with.
I think before I used to think about doing creative things and physical activity and relationships as I get like church and state, like separate, everything's separate, and they're good in their own right. But I never thought about these things in my life as being part of a web. And when you devote time to one area, it strengthens everything else.
I love the fact that I have a go-to place that I can look for different research to see what's trending, what's real, what's not real.
A lot of experts out there, some of them are experts, some of them are not. And Stanford Medicine and the Well for Life program are credible sources of information that I would trust. We can't expect to do better in our professional lives or our personal lives if we can't look after our own well-being, because that's where it all starts.
We're at the very beginnings of a long journey into understanding how we can measure and improve well-being over time. But our longer-term goals are to improve well-being, and to do that we're going to conduct interventions and experiments where we can see what particular things improve well-being for different groups of people at different times in their lives. And then once we have a good idea about what really works for different people, we can then work with providers and practitioners to try and incorporate those into practices and policies.
I'll never be a Nobel laureate. I will never be a concert pianist. I'll never be a professional athlete, but I can be great at living well and living the best I can live.
How often do we stop and really think about what makes us well, what contributes to our quality of life? I think it's so important to do. So yes, this is good for everybody.